The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Hey, and good morning, everybody. You are listening to WRMN 1410, and we are here today, once again, as we are each and every Friday, with Chief Anna Lally, Fridays with the Finest. How you doing today, Chief?
Good. Good morning, everyone.
What's going on in the police world?
So we have a couple things that that happened this week, but I want to start off by talking about. I had a post that was put up. I made a statement yesterday, and I want to just briefly talk about it. Again, I will say this, that there are not much that I can talk about, but I will absolutely try to explain as much as I can, being respectful of both the process, the investigation, and the officer. So, I have been here several times where we have had incidents with the police department, where officers have been placed on administrative leave, and, just making sure that the community understands what happens next in the process, but I have to be very mindful and respectful of that process. So there are questions that I cannot and will not answer at this time, and I want to be very clear about that, and that is to respect the process, that is to respect the investigation. It is not avoidance. It is not, we don't want to answer. That is not what it is. And so,
And I'm going to interrupt you if I may.
Sure.
This happens so often that people always think that, oh, you're fluffing us off. Can you just explain just for 2 seconds like you do? There's an active investigation.
Yes.
You can't be revealing what's going on until you have all the facts.
Yes.
What don't people understand?
It's, and I understand the questions, and I understand the want to know, and I appreciate that. I've said that many, many times here.
And you'll share it.
And I think that, when there are pending internal investigations or any type of employee disciplinary matters, we do not comment on that when they are pending. There are certain things that, I am able to say at the time, which is contained in my statement from the other day. But other than that, there are certain things that, I will not talk about now. And that's just to respect a process that is, there's a legal process that, I understand because this is my profession.
Sure.
There are attorneys involved. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But of course, I'm here, as I say, every time, whether good, bad, or otherwise, at the police department. It is important for me to be up front and center and to answer whatever questions I can. If somebody asks me something, I'm very clear. I cannot answer that at this time, and that is because of this. The why is important. So, I just want to briefly cover it and then talk about, other things that are going on. Nightmares coming up, so I want to talk about that a little bit. But generally, so my statement is on Facebook. We posted it yesterday, I want to say like maybe 4 o'clock or something like that. So I was made aware of a social media post that was posted on Facebook, and it was regarding immigration matters attributed to the personal account of Officer Jason Lentz. That was Wednesday night, and then yesterday morning, I placed the officer on administrative leave, and a internal investigation with our city's independent investigator has been launched. And so at this point, that is all the information that I will say at this time. And again, I want to just make sure that the community understands and knows, because I understand that, there's a lot of questions, concerns, emotions. When we did post this on our social media, there were many, many comments. And I just want to reassure the community, we are here to protect and serve. We are here to ensure the rights of everyone. We are here to ensure a safe community. The level of professionalism that is expected by me in the Elgin Police Department, I think, is well known in the community and well known in the department. And when things are not happening, that's why it's always important to me to talk about that and to talk about what the officers do and what to expect. And we have absolutely phenomenal officers in that department, absolutely phenomenal people that work there, and I don't want that to be lost in any of this conversation. The men and women that show up every day to serve their community do it with professionalism, do it with pride. There is a level of respect and accountability and understanding and trust that has to be present. And these are the things that I've been talking about. I became the chief in 2018 on the heels of an officer-involved shooting that tore the community apart and the department. And it was not easy. And there were times where, I think where we are today, almost 7-8 years later, there's a lot of work that has been done. And I think that we have to remember that the things that we do encounter sometimes, we handle it with professionalism. I'm always available to anyone to answer any questions. I understand the nature of my position, and I understand, the criticism that may come, and I'm fine with that, right? And I understand that. And I'm always, always, always available to people in the community if you have any questions, if you want to know. And I'm very upfront about things. If I can answer it, absolutely, I will answer it. If I can't answer it, I will say, why not? And I think, through some of the things that we have done and some of the incidents that have happened at the police department that have become very public, I think that standard that, has been shown over and over again about how I handle things and how the department responds should be something in the forefront of people's minds. And so, I want to say that, our values in the police department, to work with our community, to be respectful, to be open, to be honest, transparent, and all that stuff, those values remain. They have not changed. They will not change. And that was part of my statement that I said yesterday. So, if there is something that I can do to, answer anyone's questions, please contact me. You can call 847-289-2700, ask to speak to me. You can send me an email at anna.lally@elginil.gov. We changed our emails recently. I'm like, hold on a second. So anna.lally@elginil.gov. You can call 847-289-2700, ask to speak to me. I am available. I will call you. I will email you. If you just want to call to tell me that you are upset, that you are frustrated, please allow me the opportunity to explain some things and to provide some information, whether or not, you end up, I'm fully aware that, sometimes the information that still doesn't make people, content. And I get that. Yeah. And so, as we make our way through this, again, I want to just stress, we do not comment, and I will not comment any further on this matter until the point where I can. And that is, again, to respect the process, the officer's rights. And, there's a process, and I think that, and that I will talk about just in general. And I have talked about that when internal investigations are conducted. We have an outside law firm that has been in place for 5-6 years that conducts the investigation. Part of that is by city ordinance. That ordinance was passed, I believe, in 2020. And that is to keep an impartial and fair investigation.
Independent from the police.
Independent of the police department. And part of that is that, the statements, that's why I won't comment. I will not make any further comment. I know that can be frustrating to some, but that is to, again, respect a process of a police officer who is in a police union, and there are rights afforded to police officers through the law, and all those process and laws and policies will absolutely be respected. And so I've said this many times during incidents that have happened at the police department. It's the same thing. Right. And then eventually there's a point where you can have conversation about things, right? So, sure. I just hope that...
Let it take its course, bottom line.
Yes. And also, I do understand the magnitude of this, and I do understand the emotions are high, and I do understand how, it's dovetailing into these other things that are going on in our community. And I want people I am fully aware of that and fully, understanding of why people may feel the way they do. And it is not for me to tell anybody how to feel. It's my responsibility to the community and to the police officers and the members of the police department is to continue to talk about the things that we do, to be open, to be transparent when appropriate, when the time comes. at the right time, and then to also ensure that the members of the department continue to do and will continue to do the great work that they do. So, they are, that is a great police department. I will say it over and over and over again with great members. We deal with a lot of things, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. One of the things coming up is Nightmare. So I want to kind of switch into that a little bit. So again, I'll just end it with basically saying, again, call me 847-289-2700, ask to talk to me, send me an email, anna.lally@elginil.gov. Please, I'm more than open to discuss anything. And when the time comes, I will keep the
You reveal more
apprised.
because it's an active investigation right now. Let them have their time.
Yes.
You got a great unit. Look what your cold case unit has done. Everybody.
Yeah.
Great group of investigators.
So I want to talk about Nightmare. So a couple, Nightmare is next Saturday,
Yeah,
which I
25th.
can't even believe it's here this quickly. So we are obviously in full planning mode and have been in full planning mode for quite some time. So this next week here, we really just kind of fine tune some things. The event, I believe, starts at 6:00 that evening. And so, just a couple things from the police department perspective that, I will be here on Friday to talk again about Nightmare, to give some more specifics, obviously, as we make our way into Saturday. But, there's a couple of things, when we are out at these events, we truly ask that people adhere to the rules that the city posts as far as with entry. Fake weapons, fake props will not be allowed into the event. There's a whole list of things that you can go on the city's website, but those rules and guidelines are absolutely, there it is. Yep. So the 25th, we absolutely follow those guidelines. So there will be lines. This event is packed. People are very excited about it. I think is this like the 11th or 12th year, I think?
I'm trying to read through it.
Yeah, 13th year. Yeah, so...
13.
13. That's my favorite number.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was born on the 13th.
Uh-oh.
I was actually born on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Explains a lot,
That's my
Chief.
favorite number. There you go. Hey, I love it. But the event, 13th year, I have been at every single event. That is my favorite event of the city. I love it. I think that the work that goes into from the city side. So
They've been working on it this past week already.
Yeah, Amanda Harris, who is basically in charge of everything, and her team, she does an amazing job. And she is, I could never do her job, and I'm pretty sure she said she probably wouldn't want to do my job. I'm pretty sure. But she does an amazing job, and it takes so much effort and work. And every year, I know they try to enhance the environment so people have a new experience. So from the police department side, you will see officers out. And the officers are there first and foremost to protect everyone's safety and to assure a safe environment. And the officers, every year we go and we look at the event and we say, what could we have done better? What are some things that we could adjust, being aware of not just local or national incidents, but global incidents.
Thousands of people attend.
Oh yeah. I think one year it was like 12 or 13,000. So a lot of things, and I think that it's the signature event of the city. People are very excited for it. And I would just say, just remember that, there are kids that do attend the event too. The later it gets, the less kids you do see. I think some parents want to just bring their kids just to kind of see the environment and, experience it. But as the event goes on, we ask that people be very mindful, about, just being respectful of people. Everyone is there to have a great time. Maybe they've worked really, really hard all week and they just kind of want to relax with their friends and chill and have a great experience. So we just ask, be very respectful. The police department, we prepare. And I mean, all the way up until the day of and while the event is going, we pivot when we need to, we make adjustments. We don't reveal our security plans. We get asked that sometimes, what exactly are you going to do and how are you going to do it? We don't reveal our security plans. That is not practice to do that. But I will tell you that we work very hard to make sure that we have a safe event and be prepared for anything that could happen. And again, being very mindful of the things that are happening and going on, that have been going on. So if anyone has any questions, please go to the city website. Look at the items that are not allowed in, because I believe there's service animals you can allow in if you have a service animal.
The ID.
I think, again, the props. Sometimes people come in with prop weapons and guns, and that's not going to be allowed in. So if your costume, if that's a key part of your costume, you're just going to have to go without rethink it or go
There's
without
enough police with guns and out here. You don't
and
need
that's
to
the
be
other thing
dressed
too.
up as a
Sometimes when
policeman.
people wear like a security costume or a fake police costume.
Yeah.
So most people, I think, the Elgin police officers, if you're watching YouTube and you see my patch, right, that's who we are, right? Elgin, you'll see all the Elgin officers with our patches, our vests that say police, our names on our vests. Our SWAT team who are there, our SWAT team wears blue uniforms. They do not wear green uniforms. So sometimes you'll see people in like military costumes.
Right.
Our SWAT team wears blue uniforms with blue patches. Our armored vehicle will be there. So I just want to make sure we do have some mutual aid. I believe that the Aurora Police Department, they come and assist us every year with this event. The Aurora Police Department, I have tons of respect for that department, their chief, their command staff, their officers. We work with them. We have agreements in place that if there's something going on in their community, our SWAT team can assist and vice versa. So, I want to say thank you to Chief Thomas and his command staff for, giving me his officers for that night. I think those relationships that we have with our local federal law, everything, those relationships matter. And when you have an event like this where there's 14,000 people in one area,
4-block radius.
And it's a lot. And you'll see though, and it depends. The weather, I think, it's supposed to. I'm not sure. I thought
I'm
there was
looking at it right
rain.
now. You look at a little sunny, 61 degrees for the high. It may get as cool as 48 degrees.
Okay, as long as I thought it was
8-mile-per-hour wind. Nothing real serious, but
That's
they're
not
not
bad.
talking rain or snow.
No.
So you should be okay.
There was one year there it was snow, and I remember, and I was like, oh, but people still showed up, and then. There's that weather is perfect. Obviously, people are in costumes.
It's Halloween weather.
It's Halloween weather. So, again, if you are coming down to the event, please be safe. Be very mindful of, other people, and they're there to have a good time. And, everybody kind of just, if you need something, there will be police officers everywhere. We just ask that, be respectful of the people that are in attendance. That being said, then our Halloween event at the Elgin Police Department is Tuesday, the 28th. So this is our 4th year, I think. I think it's our 4th year. So this Halloween event starts at 5. It's a 2-hour event. We will have community partners out in front with us. You can walk through the police department. You can trick or treat through the department. So we do a tour where all the kids are going to see different areas. Every area, decorates if they want to, right? But most people get in the police department.
Like your records division and
records, investigations.
Gotcha.
So we and the admin, we always have a theme because this is I love Halloween. So we do kind of go all out. Our theme this year is Nightmare Before Christmas. And so,
Jack.
Yes. And so we're going to have some surprise characters. Some of my command staff have graciously volunteered to, because it's a fun night for us too. And I think, again, why we host the event, right? So we have activities, resources, community partners, and then think about all these kids. We've had thousands of kids that come through the police department, and they're in their costumes and they're meeting all the police officers, and that interaction. And I've always said this, the community events are not just to have the event, right? The event is the event. Because a lot of times, and I've said it many times, people will say, well, why is the police department having, community events and hosting this? Well, it's very simple. The event is what brings people together. And then at the event, that's where the relationship starts.
That's where introductions are made. That's the opportunity for you to see that, what? All they are is people doing their job, happens to be law enforcement.
And I have seen a lot of, because this is our, I think, 3rd or 4th year, and I have seen the kids that come the same year, and then they change their costumes up. We do a Halloween costume, so when the kids show up, they can take their picture, and then eventually I pick 3 winners. I give them a huge 5-pound Hershey chocolate bar.
Wow.
Which I'm sure their parents love me for. But, some of the costumes are so
Was
creative.
a sponsor on that the local dentist or what?
The sponsor is Anna Lally.
Are you the one that does that?
Oh yeah,
Nice
it's me.
job, Chief.
Yes, that's
Way to go.
That's not the.
That's from the heart. That's good.
And I love it. I mean, every time I always apologize to the parents when they come and get I'm like, hey, sorry about this, and they just laugh. But
Good.
the one year I gave I think that it was a little girl, and she was like 3 feet tall, and this, like, when I put the candy bar
It was
next
taller than her.
Yes. That's a great picture because I'm like, oh, okay. So obviously she's going to share that with her family. But, I think it's important. The message there, too, is especially now with a lot of things that are going on, that the police department remain consistent in what we do. Our events, our activities, our transparency, our openness. If you know the Elgin Police Department, and if you have, if you've met officers, there's so many great people in the community that I have met over my career. And, even when we have things happen, whether, what happened yesterday and those type of incidents, people will reach out. And I think that those are the relationships that you build over a long period of time. Sure. And I think, for me, and I've always, stressed this too, the best relationships to me are not the ones where everything that we do is always right? Oh, you guys, we love the police. You guys are the best. You do nothing wrong. I appreciate that clearly, right? Because that is, that support is unmatched. And the relationship where everything we do is wrong, right? We can't walk right. We can't breathe right. We can't look right. Everything is some type of conspiracy. That's not a good relationship either, right? No. That's very detrimental. The best relationships, in my opinion, and that I've experienced, are the balance.
And I bet your better relationships, just to what you're speaking of, are because of some act of diversity or whatever. Now that person's able to express themselves, you talk to them, and then you get to realize to each other, oh, so that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, and I think that's that balance between being very supportive, but sometimes having to give us some criticism and being critical, right? That is always, I think, the best relationship. And in my opinion, those are the conversations and those are the things that, keep us where we need to be, constantly trying to change, evolve, push, move, do all these different things. I feel like an organization that stays where you're just like, okay, we've done this and now we're just going to ride the course. It's like, yeah, well, things happen, things change. One year we're talking about homelessness, right? Next year we're talking about police reform. Now we're talking about immigration. If you remain stagnant in your philosophy and your strategy, no good comes from that, right? So being flexible, being able to pivot, having that kind of, bigger view on terms of what can we do? How can we do it? It's always questioning. And I know sometimes that gets very aggravating for people. I'm well aware of that, right? Like if I'm having a meeting with my command staff or my sergeants or lieutenants or even the officers, and it's like, what are we doing here? How can we do it better? What's going on here, right? I am very well aware that sometimes, people, it's just, oh my God, right? But the thing to me is that we have to keep doing that because that is why this department, in my opinion, is where we are today. It's because we are not afraid to challenge ourselves. We're not afraid to ask those hard questions. Sometimes people talk about uncomfortable conversations. Yeah. And
that gets the answers that, again,
it does. And I think
the answers people are looking for.
A lot of times the uncomfortable conversation, in my opinion, it's uncomfortable because people are personally attacking you.
Yes.
If you take and remove the personal attack and you go to the core of what are we debating, what are we arguing, what are we discussing, a lot of that, will dissipate because you're just really trying to find what's going on and I appreciate that, right? Like, let's have the conversation. What are you upset about? What can we do better? What am I doing that is bothering you? That to me, I don't have an uncomfortable conversation because when I walk into those conversations, and I've had many, 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 I don't come in there with the perception of, or the viewpoint of, I'm unmovable, right? My thing is always, let me hear this person and truly hear them, see them, hear what they're saying. And then it's also important, I think, to adjust the way we speak to each other. Because a lot of times, I might speak to, a sergeant who has many years on very differently than I talk to a brand new sergeant. Because that sergeant that has many years on, there's a level of knowledge and understanding and base, right? And so I can probably get to A to Z quicker because I don't have to explain the process, right?
Right.
They've been explained it. Your new sergeant, lieutenant, commander, whatever it is, you have to understand, like, it's a learning thing. Same thing with new officers, right? New officers, this is the first time they're experiencing something, and they may make a mistake, and you have to be, okay, no worries. Why did you make the mistake? You know, as long as it's not malicious or intentful, no worries, right? Is it a training thing? Is it something that they're just not aware of? And then you build that communication through the mentorship, through the, you know, also, but being supportive, you know, and understanding that people view
Mentorship is very important.
and people view the world through very different lenses. And it's not my place to say, you need to see the world how Anna Lally sees it, right? Well, my thing is just to say, let me see a little bit into your world, and I'll show you a little bit into mine. And then in that, right, let's try to figure this out. So I think, you know, I truly, I want to stress this. I appreciate our community. And, you know, anyone that reaches out and they have a complaint, a comment, a compliment, all that stuff is good stuff. So, you know, thank you, Elgin, and beyond for, you know, just being very supportive of the department. And just, you know, we're humans trying to do the best we can.
And you talk about events. Last, you had domestic violence last weekend. You had a good showing over there. I attended for a portion of it. And this weekend, on the 18th, my birthday.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
happy birthday.
thank
You're
you.
21.
Yeah, that's it.
I know.
A couple times anyhow.
Yes.
God, more than 3 times even. That's terrible. That's when you're getting old.
It's a wisdom.
You have your breast cancer
We do.
event that's coming
Yep.
up.
And so that's tomorrow. And I want to make sure that people know too, that is an event that Marcus Banner, who runs the One organization, that's his 6th annual walk. So it starts at Festival Park. The police vehicle, that the breast cancer wrap, will be there as well.
Nice.
So come on out and support survivors, support people whose family who they have been impacted by it. And, you know, that's, you know, something too, that when we had Erin Murphy on the show, right, talking about ovarian cancer and talking about her journey. And I will tell you, when she came on and she shared how she found out she had it and what she's been through, if that doesn't put life in perspective for you, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
So
And we're going to try and get her. We broadcast in front of the station on Nightmare on the 25th.
you're going to be up here. So I'm going to stop by. I always do.
You did
Yep,
last year.
I do. Yep.
Love to have you.
Yep.
And then hopefully we're going to get Erin where we could actually present her like we were going to on the
At the
stage.
award thing, yeah.
Because we weren't able to because of the inclement weather.
That's awesome. Yeah. No. I think, you know,
I'll time it with you. Hopefully you could be there.
that's fine. I usually stop by. I know the event is maybe 6:30ish. I'll stop by, something like that. But
Fire Chief Rob was with us last time, Rob.
Yeah, and that's I'll grab him too. And so we can both come on.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, just going back to what I was saying about, you know, her sharing that story, that to me, it's, you know, there is a lot of stuff going on in the world. No doubt. There is a lot of, you know, opinions and, you know, controversy and feelings and just a lot of stuff going on. And I think every now and then it's important just to pause for a moment and just, you know, realize, you know, like life is not infinite.
And that's real, what she's going through.
Life is finite. And
Yep.
so I think at the end of, you know, when you see people, if, you know, and you think about your life and you think about some of the good things that are happening, right? I'm a very optimistic person. I'm a realist, but it's always grounded in optimism because I think those stories that people share is truly a reminder of what matters. And so, you know, working with each other, even if we come from different religious, philosophical, political backgrounds and trying to find the middle, that's the goal, in my opinion.
There's more good than bad. Your police statistics, when you bring them in, proves it, that it's single digit in most cases. And I think we have to start looking at what is real, what is good, what is bad, and start looking the half full instead of the half empty glasses.
Yeah. No, I think
that's the right
it's a
way.
great perspective to have. And then I know people will say, well, you know, that's not how life is. And, you know, what's the matter with her? Everything is, it's kind of like, well, sometimes life is what you make it.
That's it.
So, you know, try to be a little bit more positive. But with that, I hope everyone has a great, great weekend. Nightmare next week. I'll be here on Friday. A lot of preparations. If anyone has any questions about the incident that happened with the officer, as I said, 847-289-2700. And I hope everyone has a safe an enjoyable weekend.
Chief, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
We'll see you again next week. Fridays with the Finest, Chief Anna Lally from the Elgin Police Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you.